the minutes. Here we go. That's the minutes from last meeting. So, there we go. I guess we'll go in that order to the email that I put out. Is that all right?
Yeah.
What do you think? It's
It's
okay?
good.
Yeah, the same stuff that we
You know,
said.
in this day and age, I don't have to say scalpel. You can say scalpel and I can be your assistant. So if you say scalpel, just say it. Right?
All right, all right.
I just wanted to-
I really haven't been doing this very long, you know, we didn't have any about for the first 3 months.
I know, now it's like, damn,
Yeah, exactly.
they're just coming fast and furious.
I like it.
Was he Sean in there?
Yeah, he's there. It's up
Okay.
there.
I'm here, Anthony.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Happy summer.
Happy
He's got
vacation.
his phone, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome to my pop-up. I'm in the Adirondacks. I'm amazed this is working.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Keep talking.
Uh,
No, really.
are you trying to set a level? Sure, I can talk. Yeah, I'm in the Adirondacks in my pop-up, just hanging out. We good?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, good.
How's that sound? All right.
Stella's here, her video is just not working.
Okay.
You can get started.
We can get started?
You want.
Okay, welcome everybody. Village of New Paltz Zoning Board of Appeals for August 10th, Tuesday, 2021 is now in session. We've got a few things on the agenda tonight. We have a public hearing for 85 North Chestnut. We have a public hearing for 5 Clatic Hill. We have a vote and application review for 191-193 Huguenot Street. And also for 85 North Chestnut. We'll close the public hearing on North Chestnut first, and we'll have a discussion and possibly setting a public hearing for 107 Main Street, the Lemon Squeeze. And we'll have some administrative business that we can take a look at later on. What I'd like to start with, I normally do go in the order of the listing in our minutes, but I'm going to start with 191-193 Huguenot Street. First and foremost, we had drafted 2 preliminary resolutions. Because we are a group of 3, any vote that we do take has to be unanimous. So that's for everybody else who's here too. So 2-to-1 votes or anything like that, it doesn't work when we have 3. We need to have a unanimous vote. We left off last time. I guess you guys can sit here if you like. Before I even get too far ahead of myself, is there anything new that you'd like to present before we, because I'm going to go right in.
Nothing has changed.
I'm going to discuss with Sean and Noah real quick and anything that we want to discuss. And then I'm going to call for a motion to vote on the resolution that Ashley drafted, which will be the one. to
Sure, and I
approve.
could just give you an update. So at the last meeting, the board voted to approve the driveway frontage variance. So now the remaining variance is the front yard setback. So it would be a motion on the front yard setback variance, and then I'm gonna combine both into one single document, but the
Okay.
text is what was previously.
And then you had a vote,
presented.
and then it was a 2-1, which didn't help us, and then.
Yeah,
you
so
were
the
going-
vote would.
Well, it wasn't really a vote. What we do is we take a straw. We would officially vote
And
tonight.
so, and if it
Okay.
was a 2-1, that results in a default denial, so
Right.
that's why then, one of the board members wanted additional information, so you had agreed.
And how did, they met with the engineer?
The building inspector. One of the board members wanted to sit down with the building inspector and he had some questions. As far as I know, and I was there, some of it occurred. So he's got the information that he feels most comfortable with to go ahead and vote on as well. So is there anything else from our standpoint, Noah and Sean, that do we want to discuss further on 191-193? Or do you feel confident that if I call for a vote, you're prepared in your best knowledge and preparation to go ahead and vote?
I'm ready to vote.
I'm ready to vote.
Okay, so then what I'm going to do is, can I get a motion, please, to approve ZB 21-02 for 191-193 Huguenot Street?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second,
Thank you, Sean. Okay, so from this point, we would have a vote. Alana, call it as a roll. Call Noah, call myself, and then call Sean last.
Noah,
Aye.
Benny,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Okay, that is then approved. So ZB 21-02, the frontage variance, the
The
side
front-
variance,
the
pardon me.
front
this is
yard
The
variance.
front yard variance, I thought it was a side variance.
There was
The front was
previously,
approved already, so
there-
this is the side, this is,
this is the no, so the driveway front, it's,
yeah, I know what
the
you're saying.
words are, so driveway frontage was previously approved.
Yeah,
There was a side yard that was withdrawn. This is the front yard setback. So
Okay.
now, the two that were before you were approved last month and this month now it's all approved. I'll get you the decision to sign. So there's
okay,
nothing else for this one.
that is completed.
Yes.
All right,
and then can I put her back on the planning board agenda for next week then? Yeah, right, this one is.
Yeah, I mean, I could get you the resolution for Tony to sign,
Okay.
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay.
That's next Tuesday?
Yes,
all right, so 191-193 Huguenot Street, Holly, you're done here, all right, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Now, we have a public hearing that is open for 85 North Chestnut Street. Is there anybody here? Or is there anybody on the computer, Alana, that would like to speak?
Take care. Good night.
I think if you make a motion to open, I don't think you.
It's open, yeah. We have a
you
motion.
made a motion to set it, you have to make a motion.
Oh,
to
it's
open.
not open. Okay, can I have a motion, please, to open a public hearing for 85 North Chestnut Street?
I'll make a motion.
Second, please.
Aye.
Second. Okay, we now have an open public hearing for 85 North Chestnut Street.
No, you all didn't vote. You did a motion. and a
Oh,
second,
shoot, sheesh.
Right?
Yeah,
Open the public-
all those in favor? Aye.
Sorry.
Aye.
So we're open. Is there anybody here present right now that would like to speak to 85 North Chestnut Street?
I
Is
do
there-
want to mention, I don't know if you guys can speak to this, but I did not receive an affidavit from the applicant attesting to posting or mailing the signs.
Is
So,
the applicant here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so do you know anything about that?
He said he sent it in, so he did
Oh,
not,
did he put it in the mail?
yeah.
Because I don't have it. I mean, so like, I don't know if they want to keep the public hearing open, just I just don't have the affidavit.
I
that
mailed
says it.
everything out and posted it up and took the.
Okay, I mean, do you have like maybe, because I just don't have like the date on the affidavit that says it was sent and posted by the legal.
So I think,
Deadline?
what you could do here is, it wouldn't hold anything up. You could keep the public hearing open just so that Alana could verify once she receives all that, that everyone that needed to get the notice, got the notice.
Okay.
So you could just do a motion to adjourn the public hearing till the September meeting, but you could still later on in the meeting, when you're doing your application review, you could still talk about the application. For this particular one, the planning board is the super lead agency, so you wouldn't be able to do anything until they complete secret.
Right.
So
Did
I
we,
would sug-
did we get anything back on secret yet?
so the planning board had a meeting, and I believe they were waiting to discuss seeker until after this board had a public hearing in
Yeah,
case
so
something came up.
Yeah, so it's gonna be, I put it on the agenda for next week,
I keep this in my phone.
so I'm hoping it'll come back
I memorized it too. I got it.
next week.
Okay, that's hilarious.
So, Chairman, they're gonna be discussing, seeker, the planning board will be at the meeting next week. They were
Okay.
waiting to see if this board had any comments, or if anything came up at the public hearing before this board.
Okay, well, as a board, we can go ahead and I think we can put it to the 5 factors and we can talk and we can discuss this right now. I'm fully prepared on that. And then we can also make a determination whether or not we want to have Ashley, we can make a motion to approve the resolution. Did you draft last week? Did you make?
No,
that?
so this one you can't do anything.
Okay,
You
so
could do.
I
would
make a
suggest
motion to
first-
authorize you to draft.
Yes, but first I would do a motion to adjourn the public hearing to
Right.
September. That way you could verify that all the notices. given.
Oh, so we don't have a verification at the notice, so we,
It's in the mail. the
It's in
board
piece,
mail.
I think that he put it in the mail, I just don't have it yet.
okay, so then what do you want me to do with this public
So it
hearing?
would be a
You
motion to adjourn
want
the
to adjourn
public
it and
hearing.
reopen it next month?
Yeah.
Exactly. You're gonna continue it, or actually a motion to continue the public hearing to the September.
You want to leave it open? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Can I get a motion then to leave the public hearing open for ZP 21-03 until our next meeting in September?
Yep, I'll make a motion.
Seconded?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we're going to stay open. Just curiosity, is there anybody on the computer that has anything that they'd like to offer in the way of the public hearing that is open on 85 North Chestnut? I'll take that as a negative. Okay, we can still go through our 5 factors and then determine whether or not, would it be jumping the gun if we wanted you to prepare a
No, so
motion of
you
a
could still
resolution?
do that,
We
it
can
would
do that.
just, I could, so you can't actually vote to approve it or not.
No, I'm
You
just
could
gonna take a shot.
Authorize,
Yeah.
sure, just authorize the decision, but knowing that you won't be able to vote at the next meeting unless the planning board
Right, and
completes
that's-
secret, so.
And I would imagine that should be done, right?
I mean, they're gonna discuss it next week, so, and they have, I think, a couple meetings before this board meeting, or one more before this board
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah, they actually have. one.
I don't have a, Noah and Sean, I'm yelling and I feel like Sean, like, hey, and Noah's right here. Do you guys want to discuss the 5 factors and walk through it? Or do you feel comfortable doing that now? Or do you want to wait till next month?
Let's do it next month.
I'm-
I'm
If you wanna do it tonight, then I'd be able to prepare.
I'm having trouble hearing you guys, and it would probably be better if we did it next month.
If you do it, or if you're able to do it, then I'll be able to know where you're.
As far as drafting a
going, I can
decision.
draft- Otherwise,
Right.
yeah, that'll be difficult.
Okay, we'll go with it. We'll talk about it now, Sean. I know it's a little tough to hear, but I think we owe that to the applicant to try to expedite the process unless there is something that is absolutely holding us up, like a CEQA, okay, or any other, or notices that have not been put out yet, okay? So, we have, so the application here is for a height variance for 4.7 feet. I wish I would stop. Everybody has the plan. You have the plan. This was the applicant who gave us the very detailed plan to what was going to be done. Do you recall that? Sean?
I can't hear anything you're saying because the stuff is going on in the background. I
Okay.
can't hear you because there's alarms going off behind you.
All right, we can hear you though, so that's okay.
That's great. But if you want me to hear what you're saying, you're gonna have to turn those alarms off.
All right, let's see what we can do.
Alana's giving
Or
it
at
a
least-
check.
We can hear you fine though. You don't have to yell. We can hear you fine.
Okay.
That's perfect. Gee, we got to do something about this. We can't have a meeting if you can't hear what we're saying here.
I can hear you when the alarms aren't going off.
Okay,
All right,
you
good.
so you can hear right now.
If an alarm goes off,
Oh, it's to Kim now.
maybe
Okay.
if something goes off, we just pause and then wait till.
Wait for hopefully we don't have anything sort of emergency. Okay, then, Sean, this is I wonder if I'm talking to this, you can hear a little bit better here. Sean, this is the application for the height variance of 4.7 feet. This is the one with the detailed plan. If you can't hear me, put your hand up at any point.
I'll yell. I'll say something.
Okay. I wish you can't tell if my mouth is moving, unfortunately, which is really, this is like a perfect storm here with watch my ears going up and down when I talk. People have said that about me. Okay, so we're going to go through the 5 factors, Sean, and we'll get a little bit of a litmus test here to where the applicant needs to make any changes or we have any expressed concerns that we want to have him address. Okay. So obviously, let's take a look at the first thing, whether an undesirable change would be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to the nearby properties would be created by granting of the area variance. Noah, you want to?
No, my opinion is that it looked like it was on par with the neighboring building and that there was no significant impact.
Yeah, I agree with Noah.
Yeah, I actually think it looks better with the gabled roof rather than a flat roof. And I thought, and it's already 10 feet below the building that's next to it, which is kind of ironic that they have to get a variance for a building that's going to be 3 or 4 yards taller than the building that they're building. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant could be achieved by some other method that's feasible for the applicant to pursue other than this variance. So,
Well, I think we got a summary from, I think, county that you sent out, maybe some sort of conclusion that this was the most desirable version from using heat pumps instead of other sort of utilities.
I think that was included in Kim Hoover's letter.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yeah, so the county had responded to the planning
Yeah.
board. They actually didn't respond to the
Okay.
planning board when I haven't gotten anything from them.
All right, well, I got the planning board letter
Mhm.
and it seemed like, yeah, sure, they could use different utilities, but nobody wants them to do that. That's my summary takeaway.
But I
from
don't
that
think
letter.
that's really related to the height so they're saying, I think originally, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that at the last meeting, this board had discussed that the applicant, they would want them to put the HVAC system, that stuff
In the attic, that's
Right,
what,
their
yeah.
county comments are saying that they're unable to do all of that in there, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So,
So what is going to be on the outside now?
Compressors.
Can we take a look at what they look like?
They're the mini splits. Are you familiar?
Yep.
Yeah.
Where will they be, where will the compressors be located
They'll be-
relative to the building?
Yeah, on the back and the side.
Will they be on the ground or will they be attached to the building?
They can be either. Plan, the idea now is to move the building a little closer to the road so that there's more space to screen.
Hmm,
Tim Rogers and John Whitten were in favor of that, moving the building closer to the sidewalk.
Can we attach that anything that cannot fit in the attic has to be put in the back of the building? And can we attach that to any variance that we create, or we don't have a say in that?
well, so you could impose conditions, they have to be reasonably related to mitigate some of the impacts of the variance, so if there was, because of the impact that it would have on the character of the neighborhood or.
I don't like equipment like that being seen on the road. I think it's an eyesore.
We
Now, you can
definitely-
put it in the back anyway. I can't really stop you theoretically, and we were hoping you'd be able to put everything in the attic. What's stopping you from putting everything in the attic? Just the size of the attic? What's the problem?
The compressors have to be outside for this type of unit.
That's actually how the mini splits work. I just put one in my
They need-
house.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
need
Yeah.
to be
Yeah,
outside.
four of them too on the outside.
Yeah.
You can attach those to the building. It'd be
Yeah.
nice if you can attach the back.
They're definitely gonna be.
Yeah, the side's not terrible. How big are they? Give me, is a normal size one, or is this an industrial one?
Yeah, they're normal size.
Like that, about that
Yeah.
big, right? Yeah, okay. All right,
Do you have any drawings you've drawn up to show this change?
No, I don't have any right now.
okay. But how many of them will you be putting in?
I believe there's one per unit, so in the neighborhood of 20, 22.
That doesn't have any impact on the draft requested, but boy, that's a lot.
But
That's
boy,
really up
that's
to
a lot of
the,
units.
that's a lot of units. So you're gonna have 20 individual, now I can't, it has nothing to do with your variance,
Right.
okay? We're not voting on
That's
that.
not the question.
Yeah, it's not really, I'm just, so, and the plan, so did you present a plan to the planning board on that? And
No, we haven't done that.
Okay, so
Okay.
John,
We haven't done
that's
that.
their, that's their,
That's
yeah, yeah,
their-
that's their
Yeah.
ball, that's their ball. I was just curious.
The question is, I guess, whether the
You're gonna-
the
yeah.
benefit they want from this variance and they want, is it the certain look of this type of roof and that, whether that benefit could be done.
Right, no,
Short
no.
of, I guess,
okay, no.
It was just ironic because when we talk about the impact on an area, you don't need a variance to put in 20, units, but you need a variance if you had to go 7 inches too tall. It's just kind of.
Right.
Show us the
didn't seem-
flaws in the
Yeah, it
system.
didn't seem like that was equitable both ways. You really
Right.
should be getting a variance, to put all those units in the back.
Right,
Okay, but with that said,
right. So this is for the height variance.
this is the height variant only. This is all we're gonna
Yeah.
focus on. So you're gonna put some stuff up there though. So
What
your
we can.
yeah, so your variance is required to help you put as much stuff back there as possible, up there as possible, correct?
That'll definitely help, yeah.
Okay, how much will it help? What couldn't you put up there?
I would have to talk with Kim on that, as far as she's working directly with the mechanical engineer, as far as what type of equipment is gonna be used at the building,
What's going up there now, do you know?
and I'm not sure what's going on.
All
Should
right,
be air handlers going up there now.
okay. I like, guys, when we ask these questions, we expect you guys to have people here to be able to answer those, because we want to know what's going up there, to what you're seeking the variance for. We should have a pretty detailed and clear understanding that we know why you need it, but we should know more than just, oh, well, we're gonna put stuff there.
And in the last meeting, the answer was, we're gonna put all our utilities up there. We're not gonna have anything outside. And so this is a change just from that. And that, I think, was something that was really favorable to our,
So I
Wait,
think
I
it's
think-
gonna be mixed. There's no way we're gonna be able to put 20 outside.
No,
Yeah. Tony, I don't think we can discuss this anymore because they're moving the building and they're changing everything around. We need a set of detailed plans because we don't know what we're even talking about.
Well,
Talking about the height.
I mean, I'm just gonna,
Yeah,
So I think-
we're still just on the
I
height
think it
variance.
Yeah, I
would
agree
be
with you.
appropriate, because as you said, you have the 5 factors, it's part of the application, they have to
Yeah.
fill that out, but the application or the reasoning behind it has changed. So would you be able to submit, because the public hearing is being kept open anyway, if you could submit just an updated, that application form, or just an updated narrative of the 5 factors explaining, you're not gonna be putting all of the stuff up there, but just to still.
have you made
why
any
it still
change to the
needs
original
variance.
application? Did you make any change to the original application?
I don't think-
Probably
No,
not yet.
probably not, right?
No.
That's right.
So you had already, during the meeting anyway, or during the hearing, so. if
The
you-
original plan was they were going to put all the utilities up inside the roof. And now they're not going to do that. So this is not what we were talking about last week.
So
This
there's
is
been.
completely new.
Is that,
It's
Are you
not
able to
completely,
submit-
there is, it's gonna be mixed, it's not gonna be all the utilities, but it's gonna be.
Well, they
Yeah,
can't put,
I need detailed plans before I can make a decision on any of this.
We can't fit everything in the roof, so whatever doesn't fit in the roof has to go outside.
so if you could perhaps speak with your consultants and get a better idea, go through those 5 factors, explain why you still need the variance, and give this, so this board has something, they know what you're really, or why you're asking for what you're asking for, I think that would be.
well, listen, you have you're requesting a variance for 4.7 feet. That alone is an aesthetic value rather than putting a flat top in. But you did mention that you're going to be doing other things with that extra height that could be more beneficial, that aren't really going to happen. Nevertheless, that really wasn't a pre-requirement for us to vote on this or to discuss this. It's just a change. I don't have a problem to continue to discuss this because I have a question. The plans that you presented of the design of the building, have any of those changed?
No.
Louder?
No,
No. Okay. So the way that building is constructed and landscaping and the layout of it, the only thing is, when you showed us the plans, you didn't show the 20 units that would be in the building. I would think, now that I'm thinking of that out loud, that I would like to see what that looks like. And the height.
They're also moving the building. So
Yeah,
the
that's okay.
landscape is going to have to change because they're moving the building forward. So everything is different now. And they didn't send us any plans. That should have been sent to us before we had this meeting.
So I think what you should request from the applicant is the updated analysis of the 5 factors, the actual
Yeah.
plans and the, the
For the
planning board
conversation.
issues that they're gonna be reviewing with the planning board as far as, getting down to the specifics of landscaping. Unless there's some reason why that's tied or related to the height. But I think one of the points that the board raised tonight was about the mechanicals, and one of the reasons previously identified why the variance was needed was these mechanicals. So the board just wants an understanding of what's going in there and why you still need the variance.
I've already-
If that's a good place to leave off and have them make another submission, that way you could further discuss it at your next meeting.
Yeah, and I think it's a quick set of bullets of like, here's,
Yeah, just a letter.
here's how this has evolved. And maybe here's a quick sketch of what this is gonna, like, you don't have to, from my perspective, you don't need to give like,
Sure.
fully, but just like, here's what it's gonna look like roughly.
Okay,
I'm going to agree with that. Yeah, we're going to have that updated.
okay,
All right.
no problem.
Okay. All right. So we'll leave off with that then. We're going to hold off before we,
Can we go through the other factors to see if you need anything else, so I can come back to the.
that's fair. Okay, that's more than fair.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to go on to the third factor, whether requested variance is substantial.
I do not feel it's substantial.
We
Sure.
don't know because we haven't seen the plans. I have no idea what this looks like. So I'm going to say, I don't know.
Well,
I want plans.
I would just say, from my perspective, we saw really well-produced plans, and the things that are changing are not relevant to the height variance that we're considering.
I agree with that. I think I can make a determination. Are you changing the height that you're requesting from 4.7 feet?
No,
Okay, so then I'm satisfied with, you're not changing anything with the look of the roof and how it's going to be slanted and gabled at all?
no.
So any change with that? Okay. Then, I know I don't consider the requested area to be substantial. I see it's still 10 feet lower than the house that's in the building that's next to you. And that roof doesn't look as nice as what your roof is going to look. Now, you may move the building, but I'm not really getting into, I feel that we're not getting into where the building is specifically located. You see, you kind of shot yourself in the foot. Those plans were beautiful.
They did mention that the last meeting, I just checked the minutes, they mentioned that the building was going to be moved closer to the road.
Okay,
So
you
that
know,
this is not like a brand new thing, they did mention that.
okay. I'm okay with, I feel very confident that I don't feel this is a substantial variance, and I don't think that you're being taller than the building next to you, and I don't think you're going higher than that.
But just like, could remind you what you already know, you mentioned before, that building was under different zoning.
Yeah, sure,
That's
it was
why I-
grandfathered in, and we know why that's there and why it's happened, but I'm using it as what is the effect on the neighborhood and how's it affecting the aesthetics? So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying what's fair or not, it's the way it goes. Timing, right? Okay, let's talk about the fourth factor, whether the requested area variance would have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or the district.
I don't believe so.
Sean, you have any opinion on that?
No
that fact?
opinion.
I don't think requesting this variance is going to have an adverse impact physically. I think the building actually looks nicer. I would appreciate though, if you could update your plans, especially with the units on the side of the building, not that it's affecting it, but we are here to protect the aesthetics wherever we can. You know, we may say, well, you know, we're not gonna, you know, put them on the roof and make it 4.7 and don't get, you know, give you the variance and put it on the roof for all I know. I mean, I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but what I am saying is that we have looked at things like that. So it's always good that we have all the information we possibly have, even if it feels like it's not really impacting exactly the variance that you're requesting. You know what I'm saying? It may not, but it's good that we have it.
Right, we have the whole picture so that we can understand the discrete things to decide on.
And I think that's something that you're gonna be back before the planning board. I think that's something they're gonna need to do to complete seeker, which has to be done before this board can make any decision, so.
Okay, whether the difficulties professed by the applicant, this is always my favorite one, were self-created.
I mean, yeah, because you designed the building, but no, I mean, it's just building codes, I guess, and aesthetics and trying to fit things inside. So I would say not particularly.
Sean?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, most applications we get are self-created in one way or another. We look at what that total impact, how powerful is the self-created variance, you know, what was your level of impact on it, and how easily could you have mitigated it? I like the way the roof looks. So though it is self-created, I think that's mitigated by the aesthetic of it. I think the building looks very nice from the plans that I saw, and I think it would be very positive to the neighborhood. So getting away from these five factors as we talk about it, Noah, what is your opinion of the aesthetics of the building with the variance and overall, beyond these five factors?
I have a positive opinion.
Okay. Sean?
I cannot make a decision because I have not seen the plans. When I see the plans, I will be able to make a decision.
Okay. I have a positive impact, a positive feeling about what it is, provided you don't make any substantial things that are changes that are different to the way that roof is designed. I feel very positive about it. With that said, I ask for a motion. I'm gonna ask for a motion, and we don't have to do anything with it. I just want to have Ashley prepared. I'm gonna ask for a motion to approve resolution of decision, no,
Motion to
to
authorize.
draft, yeah, authorize the attorney for the zoning board, our Ashley, of appeals to draft a written decision consistent with the discussion that we've just held. Can I get a motion for that?
Yep, I'll make,
Can I get a second?
Aye.
Can I get a vote? All in favor?
I,
Aye. So with that said, we're gonna have Ashley draft, authorize our attorney to draft a written decision. I would say, you have a pretty good feel for that? For what you want?
Yes,
what you wanna
based
do?
on your,
Okay.
and of course, as always, at the next meeting, you could discuss it, revise it as you see fit. And again, this board will be able to act at the next meeting so long as
we're
I want to
contingent on a
verify the
few things.
notice and the planning board's completed seeker, but
Yeah.
I'll definitely have that decision ready for you.
So we actually have a few things you guys got to come here with. One, we got to have a completed seeker. Two, we got to make sure that you follow all the proper protocols for the public hearing and the notices that were put out. We need that. Okay. Three, we need to see updated plans. I mean, accurate to what you're going to put in front of John and the planning board. Okay. If you give us those three things, we should be able to move you along. We'll be able to vote and see where we go from there. But we need those three things, especially the first two, before we could even vote. We can vote without the third, and it's not going to make Sean happy, but we want all three. But the first two, we need no matter what before we can go. And I can close that public hearing, and then we can go from there.
Thank you.
All righty? Okay, thank you. So that concludes 85 North Chestnut. Hold on. It's been so long since I've worn a mask, it takes me a second to get used to it. I apologize. Okay, let's talk about 5 Plattekill. There's 5 Plattekill here. You can sit a little closer if you like.
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, sure. Why not? We're all close.
And this public hearing hasn't been opened yet.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, well, I probably should just open up all the public hearings right away, right? And just have
Well,
them
no,
open.
you do them one at a time, that
Yeah,
way
it's
you
okay.
can close them as, you know.
Sometimes I think I have a good
Nothing to read,
idea,
you
but
can
then you
close
shoot
them.
it down, but I don't get
I'm
mad at you
sorry.
for shooting it down. I consider it to be valuable. Before I open this up, I just want to make sure I have this. I have a different type of secret here, right? This is the applicant. So that
Yes.
one is, right?
You can do that at the end after the public hearing.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, let's start with the first things first. We have we're gonna need to get a motion to open a public hearing for 5 Plattekill Avenue.
Yep, I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. That public hearing is now open. Is there anybody here present that would like to speak at this public hearing? Is there anybody on the computer that has any opinion or would like to offer any insight into this applicant's variance?
No one seems to be here, but I also didn't receive anything in writing.
I should ask you that too.
And they got the affidavit and everything that they posted.
Okay, so they're all good to go. They've put everything in and everything's locked up. Okay, can I get a motion then to close the public hearing for 5 Plattekill?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
Seconded.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that is closed. Okay. We can go ahead and we can go through the 5 factors. You guys were not here last time.
Correct, Andy
Right.
was here.
Okay, you were here.
No, Andy was here.
Oh,
That's Matt.
oh,
It's still-
Andy.
Yeah, it's still.
He's not here though.
Correct.
Okay, you guys are confusing me, which isn't hard to do.
We're on the same team.
Yeah,
same team.
Yeah. Now, so we know, are you, what is your?
I'm the applicant.
You're the applicant. Why don't you just, before I sit down and we go through any determining factors and I ask Ashley, our esteemed attorney, to put anything forward, why don't you take us through exactly again? I want to hear it from you.
Okay. I'm Brian Keenan. I've owned McGillicuddy's for the last 25 years. I purchased that property 4 years ago. There was a smoke shop that closed. And during the pandemic, we had a lot of outside seating at McGillicuddy's. That really worked out well. And when the smoke shop closed, I decided to try to use that space. So hopefully you thought my plans were as nice as Chestnut. I'm looking to beautify that area. I do see that probably 80% of my business being seasonal because the square footage of the building is less than 2,000 square feet with bathrooms and a kitchen. It's a pretty small interior space, which is why I'm looking to be able to serve a little bit later.
Yeah, past 12 o'clock, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And I'll say one other thing, I can stay up until 4 a.m. at McGillicuddy's, and 5 nights a week I've had the door locked at midnight. I plan on doing the same at Plattekill. But just with it being such a small space off-season, even if another hour or two on the weekends in perpetuity really makes the financial commitment I'm giving that property. worth
Ashley,
it.
would it be overstepping our bounds if we grant this and if we do ever grant this and put a right of how late he can stay open?
There would need to
Can't.
be a
Yeah.
way to connect, and the variance that they're asking for is for the distance between the bar use and, is it a
The
school or a
church.
place of worship?
School, church.
Okay, so that's the
So whatever
variance,
spills
so-
out there, it doesn't really matter. It
So
doesn't.
there's no, yeah,
Okay.
I don't think there'd be a way to.
No, I'm okay with this.
I
There's a lot of
will
balls there.
say that municipal lot is very loud till 5 AM. I see it.
Right.
So I don't think staying open an additional hour or two in that retail space is going to negatively affect that area.
I don't know if I'm not out that late or up
Not
that
anymore.
road.
I'm usually not.
It's been a few years. But I mean, from what I remember 20 years ago.
I didn't really see, can you have your plans there?
Yeah, here's,
Did we really get a good look at the plans on
so
this?
this is.
We did see, we
engineering
looked at these
plan
lines
and
down and it was really
Very little.
almost negligible to
Yeah.
the church that's down.
Yeah,
on
we
the
really, I mean,
restaurant.
I was hoping, you have plans to see what it looks like. Sean, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to just. Tijuana Cab Company. That's what.
That is for display purposes only.
Okay, you know, that smoke shop came in front of this board for a variance on the sign in 2016. It was one of the first ones I've ever sat on.
You're right, we didn't see, I don't think I saw.
No, we didn't see this. Sean, I don't know, can you see this at all here, Sean? I'm not gonna hold this up that long for you, Sean. This is what we're looking at, though. Okay.
Yeah, I saw these plans last month. They had really nice plans. We had those.
Really? Did we have these?
Yeah.
last month?
You should have the.
I don't remember seeing, I would have remembered the Tijuana.
You
Cab
should have the
Company. I would not have
architectural
forgot that.
plans as well.
Yeah, I don't know that you looked at you didn't focus on
What's
that,
the
you were
date?
just
I don't
focusing
know.
more
I
on
don't
the
remember seeing
location
this.
map probably.
We
if the
probably did
distance is
We did
involved.
talk about this. We saw this.
We definitely saw that.
I
I mean, I have
saw-
architectural,
That we saw.
architectural
I
plans
saw
as
pictures.
well.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. When do you have the, just out of curiosity, when is that expected to be
That's on
completed?
file. I'm
When do you
sorry,
expect to have that completed?
the construction?
Yeah.
I'll start after I get my approvals, but I'm probably looking to open next spring.
You want this?
No,
Okay. Is that sign gonna be bigger? There's a variance on that sign. It's be a certain size. There's the two rails that are put there, right on the roof.
Yeah, but that's because it was on the roof. I know that was the issue. The
Okay,
sign was on the roof. This is not on the roof.
okay, it's gonna be out
So,
front.
yeah,
Okay,
Andy had mentioned that it's all up to code and doesn't need a variance.
oh, that's good. That'd be up to they would tell you. I leave that, we have a great building inspector, Corey. Did you get that, Corey? And he would tell you what you needed, so that's fine. I don't have any issue there. Okay, Sean, how do you feel about going through the 5 factors?
I'm good with it.
Yeah,
Yep, ready. I'm
yeah,
ready.
you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go walk through the 5 factors. So as always, factor number 1, whether an undesirable change would be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to the nearby properties, would this be created by granting the requested area variance? No?
Can I ask a clarifying question?
You just have to speak up. I have
Yeah.
a slight hearing problem
Oh, it's okay.
and the masks don't help.
So are you going forward with this restaurant, whether you get this variance? Or not?
Most likely, I would really have to crunch numbers and see.
Yeah.
The variance is pretty important.
Okay. As to the question about this, I always raise the question, do we need another restaurant? Do we need another bar? I actually think your concept, from what I understand at least, is really great. But I don't think holistically it produces any sort of negative characteristics for the neighborhood.
Sean, you want to offer something?
No, I got nothing to say. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's interesting. I always wonder what's around, and you've got Cabalusa behind you there, right? And you've got,
And they're close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got McGillicuddy's over there, but it may be open again. See, I'm thinking long-term. I'm
Yeah.
not thinking, somebody's gonna use that space one of these days, okay? Somebody's gonna use it. So, I don't feel that it is a detriment to any nearby property. Does it change the character of the neighborhood? Well, no, you've got P&Gs, you got McGillicuddy's, you've had Caboolusa, and you've had other bars over there, different names. I don't see it as an impact to have another person selling alcohol. That's the business that this town is in to a certain extent. There's no reason, there's no point in kidding ourselves on that. So I don't think there's anything undesirable right there. All I can ever ask on something like this is, as a bar owner, to be responsible, to make the place look as, our town is our town. You know what I'm
My
saying?
town too.
Yeah, exactly. So we just always feel, we can only advise, but obviously the nicer it looks, taken care of, the better,
Well, and I think you do have a great track record with McGillicuddy's from
Thank
that
you.
perspective, so.
Thank you. And I'm giving it a major financial commitment, and I feel
Yeah.
cleaning up an eyesore that's right.
Yeah, I like
As
that
you
too.
pull into this municipal lot, you're looking at that,
I
and
agree.
it'll be beautiful.
No, there's been nothing there except the laundromat. It has never been anything. It's been like an undershirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Right.
That's what it feels like. So
Dirty.
to make it, but no, it looked nice when you guys had some chairs out there on the side. Even that went a long way. It showed some life. It's,
Yeah.
when we're outside and there are people outside eating, it is a nice thing to see. So, okay. Factor two, whether the benefits sought by the applicant could be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance. No?
I don't think so. I don't think that there's another method.
Sean?
Yeah, I agree with Noah.
Yeah. I thought about knocking down the church. That way you wouldn't have, we could solve that
Sacrifices have to be
problem
made.
because we could knock down the church.
Amen.
Spiritually, I knock on wood, okay, because I don't want to upset anybody, but we could knock down the church. So, no, I kind of agree. We really can't move the building and the building is there, so I agree with that. Is the requested area variance substantial? No.
I don't believe so, no.
Sean?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
No, I don't think this is substantial at all. Does anybody ever measure the exact distance it is right now?
I do know it's, I think between 400 and 500, but to drive there, it's like 1,200 feet. So like crow flies, it's less than
Because
500.
it's really funny. When we say a variance, like we get a request for a height variance and it's 40 feet, you can't go higher than 40, so we say 4.7. So we don't really have a number here, not that we needed a number, we all get what this is. But it's kind of interesting if it's a certain distance, how close are you to it and what is the exact number
Well, and
of
I
the
do believe
variance?
you would have it, because you will, I think, have the number in your, ultimate, you should be considering that number when you're considering this, and I thought it was on the map.
Does it say? I don't know, it's hard. What is the exact variance that you're, it's just to have?
So
Yes, it's this.
here's the
You see,
site.
Noah?
Yeah, we're about there's several distances.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
thought. We
so
did
let's
see.
get the exact, can we get as the crow flies so we have an understanding?
Yeah, that's what this is. So 162 would be the closest to this Waldorf
Okay,
building.
And that's right, and that was the property that they don't actually actively use, is that
Yeah,
right?
oh, just their property
They
line.
just own it.
Okay, so you're 162 feet to the closest property line.
to the structure, not the property line.
Oh, you're that close to the church?
The church, this is the Waldorf school.
Oh, it's the school.
One is the
Yeah.
school.
Okay, 162 feet from the school?
The
No, that's the
school,
property line.
Yeah, so
162.
where is, here's the school. Where are you guys? Right
okay,
here.
that's the main school. So that's 249 feet.
240.
This is the building that's not used, but they own.
So you're, to that building, you're 162. So
Yeah.
your variance then technically is 338 feet. You need a variance for 338, and you're gonna have a lot of good students sitting at your bar from the Waldorf School having.
I don't even think we'll be open.
No, I'm just kidding. Just wanna they may be your best customers. Okay, so theoretically, we have a variance for 338 feet.
Right.
I still don't consider that substantial, okay? I do not consider, when I look at the other bars in the neighborhood and where it is, I don't feel that that's a substantial variance.
I agree.
Yeah. Sean?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Sean on remote. Okay, so let's go with number 4, whether the requested area variance
I'm
would have.
sorry, was that the only Was that the only one that needed the variance, or there was a few others?
Do you need a variance from each locale?
So from.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, so if it's close, so it's that distance from the school, but it's also, I think, less than 500 from a church or from a.
Should we have that listed out when you do the official variance?
Can I see
Ashley?
that map again?
Yeah, I think it'd be helpful to spell out.
All right, so what we're gonna need is for you, if we go forward here and we do a little straw test, and I have Ashley authorize the attorney to draft a written decision. I'm gonna have to be specific to what she's drafting. So I'm gonna need you to give me, because they only still require one variance, right? They don't need a variance for each one.
One variance, right, for these three different things.
How do you want
Yeah, I
to,
think
because they
that's-
just said they're within 500 feet, so that's what the code says.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna identify which ones and which distances.
We should
they are.
identify them.
I think that's
You want-
helpful.
We don't, whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
Ash, it's up to you.
And so I think there is that map there.
They're
Yeah.
all on the map. We can
Oh, yeah.
provide.
So
So-
basically,
so-
338,
We
And
also
there's a-
need this
there's a
one for the
key
Jewish,
kind of
yeah,
folder.
this is the Jewish congregation on Church Street right
Yeah.
here. And then this is the Goodwill Church, actually it's
503,
503, so we
you're
don't need
good.
that.
so you really need four of them then. You need one for 79 feet, one for 251, one for 338, and one for 219.
I don't know if you
79.
count all the
So you
Waldorf
have to submit four
buildings
different
as one.
applications?
No.
No,
Okay.
Because it's all within 500 feet, but should it be spelled out
Okay.
for future, what they're getting
Yeah.
each one should be known, hey, they're cleared for this one, hey, they're cleared for this one, in case somebody builds something later on,
Yeah.
right? We should spell that out,
Well, I think if we just know the closest one here. I mean,
but
this is
anything that's within
semantics, right?
500.
But this is all one owner, right? All these.
Yeah, the
these
Waldorf,
three-
there's
these
a
three
couple different
numbers,
distances for the Waldorf.
But they're all for the same owner, so
Yes.
they've cleared all their school, cleared
Just need to-
congregation.
What do you, actually, how do you want to write it?
So which,
It's semantic.
I'm
Whatever
a
she
little
wants to do is
confused.
I'm
fine.
just term, if somebody puts a building here later on.
No, you're right,
Yeah.
they
who
sell
knows
off
what
a
he's-
piece of their
So the
property.
shortest one
That's
to
a
the
good
school
point.
is
That's a good point.
162. And the only other one, the number 2, the Jewish congregation, that's 281.
I thought that was over
Tony's point
five.
is what if the school decides to sell off a piece of their property, we want to make sure that it's known that each piece of that school that they've measured and presented on each of those properties is
He's
covered
cleared
by
for it.
this
No.
Jewish congregation.
in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we can identify
281.
which ones were,
We don't want him back in front of this board in 20 years because someone says, hey, wait a minute, you don't have a variance for this guy, and wait a minute, that was built after,
and
so.
so,
he's
and I
thinking-
could, in any,
This is the-
decision, I could spell out how
Oh,
close
no,
they
that's
are
not
to
Waldorf.
everything. I think
Yeah,
that's.
just
what-
spell it out.
These are not.
No.
I'll say what it is, because that's what you'd be.
Do you need me,
granted,
so you need them to give you anything?
I think I could work with your office and Andy, and we could, make sure we're on the same page as to the distances and
Sure.
have that for the next meeting in the decision.
Yeah, you have presented three different numbers, all related to the Waldorf School, so if there are three
Mhm.
different property deeds or something, then we should
Mhm.
make that clear in our decision.
Okay, I think it's 2 different property deeds, but yeah.
Well, you, listen, don't be shy
Finalize that.
about it, include is what you need to make sure that you're protected in this
Correct.
area for as long as you need to be protected. You don't want, like I said, 20 years from now, somebody could open, hey, you guys don't have a
Right.
variance.
Yeah, if you're good with all of it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Then,
Well, I
yeah,
think you
let's-
should give it to Ashley, so if we draft this, that she knows exactly what needs to be covered from that area.
Yeah. I
At
think
least
Sandy
listed out
just-
there
we'll-
somewhere, right?
We'll
Yeah.
coordinate with
Yeah,
you
maybe,
and
yeah, and
Andy.
if even just a list of the distances, yeah, that would be.
I would even put that in the variance too, this map, what's being taken. It looked like at the time that you got the variance, it's just as time goes on. Okay, number 5, whether the difficulties professed by the applicant was self-created.
Wait, did you skip
No,
the adverse effect of the?
Yeah,
did I skip one? That was, we're still talking about the substantial, you're right, I did. I did by Ellen. Damn, she's good.
she's good.
Okay, I'm not even in a rush. Sometimes I like to skip the even ones just to have. So I did that once before. Don't laugh. I think Ashley corrected me last time I did that. Whether the requested area variance would have an adverse effect or impact on the physical environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district.
No, in fact, I think it would have the opposite.
One?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, I happen to agree as well. I think, from what I see with some of the plans, I think this is a real opportunity to beautify a part of that area there that we haven't seen in a long time. So I'm okay with that. And last and not least, finally, number 5,
Our favorite.
whether the difficulties professed by the applicant was self-created.
And in this case, I really don't think so, because you didn't have anything to do with putting the schools there and the churches there. I mean, the fact that you want to do a project. I
So,
guess
and that's what, that makes it, if you wanna do something, that's why most of them is, Tony, you mentioned before, you are self-created because it's, you wanna do something that's not permitted by the code, otherwise
Right.
it wouldn't be before you. So,
Yeah, every blue moon you may get, it's always
which
about the
again, it's a
level.
balancing.
Yeah, it's a balancing.
Okay.
To the level of it. Yeah, this is somewhat self-created, but I think it's outweighed by the plans, what you're looking to do with the area. What else is around that area and other types of establishment that are like the one you're proposing. In fact, this one will probably be even nicer. That stuff outweighs the fact that it's a self-created variance. So,
Does Sean have anything?
Sean, what do you think about that?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, I agree with that. Noah, do you think this is a pretty positive application?
Yeah.
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 Sean, do you think it's a pretty positive application?
Yes.
Kind of agree. So I'm going to ask for a motion then to authorize our attorney for the zoning board of appeals to draft a written decision consistent with the discussion that we just held.
I make a motion.
I made the motion.
I second it.
Your
There we
motion.
go. I didn't say that. Wait, I asked for a motion.
Are you
So you made the
asking or
motion.
making it?
She made the motion. Sean, we have this
Aye.
down. We were good at this at one point. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have a secret here. Can I also make a motion under secret to adopt a negative declaration?
I just wanna make sure though, Sean, did you get my email with the proposed EAF part 2?
Everybody had a chance to look at it?
I just wanna make sure Sean had a chance to look at it as well.
I'm
Is it
not
an
sure.
email?
If not, we could do it at the next meeting, it's not a problem.
Was that like the 8-page letter?
No.
No, it kind of looks like
It was an EAF form.
that one. It's the questionnaire.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything on here that you have any issue with or take umbrage with?
I do
No.
not.
No. I'm going to ask under the secret for a motion to adapt a negative declaration.
I'll make a motion.
Seconded?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 So with that said, come to the next meeting. We'll be prepared to vote. All goes well with consistent with the discussions held. You'll have a decision.
Correct.
All righty?
Sounds good.
All right, and everything is good. You got what you need under the secret?
Yes,
That's good.
perfect,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, so I read it down.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank you so
thank
much,
you.
guys.
Have a great evening,
Before
guys.
then, just make
All
sure you
right.
have all the-
Yeah.
just-
We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
All righty. So now we got the lemon. This one, right?
This
Okay,
is our new one.
so this is a new one now. We have a new one. Okay. Let's just get our stuff in front of us and I'll call you up in a second. You can come on up, it's okay. Before we get started here. Look at this one. Sean, you're really missing out here. You'd love this.
We got
Oh,
some
they're
very-
nice. Are they nice plans? I love nice plans.
God, you'd love this, Sean.
They even have binding on them,
They got-
Sean.
You get this at TQ?
They even have binding. Can you see this binding with the staples? So they're very professional.
It is very.
Do they have like actual measurements on them and stuff?
Yes, we have a dimension from our property to the synagogue.
Don't talk to Sean, please. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna play
Alan's
for
on the
you.
call, by the way.
Who's on the call?
Alan Ross.
Alan, okay. Who is Alan Ross?
He's the architect.
He's the architect, huh?
I'm the other architect,
You're the
You're the other
other.
architect.
What's your name?
John Beck.
John. Nice
John,
to meet
And
you.
as your name's on, it's on here
I'm
somewhere. I
on the
saw that.
application and
Yes, I want to pull out your application. Right now. Oh, hold on. Sorry, by the end of the night, usually we have a ton of stuff all over. This is it right here. but- End of the night, I always get that.
Is it, what property, is this for McGillicuddy's right now you're looking at?
That was one we just- This is 107 Main Street.
This is the old Murphy's.
Yes,
Okay, good. All right, yes.
shadow quite a bit. Yeah. No, even at that, well, I don't think, but still, okay, why don't you give us a little bit here, I'm reading what your variance is for, I've seen it, why don't you give me a little bit of a rundown of exactly what it is, to Noah and Sean and myself?
Sure. So, Sean, hopefully you can hear me. My name is John Vett. I'm with Alan Ross Architecture. I'm representing our client Ed Carroll, the owner of the property, and Alan as well, who's in Alaska right now. What we're looking for are two variances. One, area variance because of proximity to the synagogue at 8 Church Street. Murphy's, or McGillicuddy's is an existing, sorry, Murphy's, there's an existing bar and the synagogue's been there forever, so it's just an existing condition. It's 462 feet, shy of that 500 feet. The other variance we're asking for is to place the structure of a pergola, which was proposed pergola, a new pergola will be built in that front terrace area. It actually follows the line of the existing fence that's there, which is inside the setback by about 1.5 feet.
When you say pergola, I'm not a
Sure.
builder, so what's a
Yeah.
pergola? Let's see, you have a picture of
We
one?
have a drawing of it here,
Let's see
actually.
where it is. Show me where it is.
No, let me just-
Oh, you're gonna have a picture? I like
Blow
pictures.
up. I have a blow up here. It's the same drawing there in front of you. You just did a blow up to make it a little easier to see.
Okay,
So let's see here. This is the front elevation.
Yeah.
And then this is the plan of the front part. So Main Street's right along here, the sidewalk's along here. The existing building has a old front porch, right? Which is it's the loft area or the mezzanine area of the building,
yeah,
which goes along here. We're gonna extend that to create a new accessible entry into the building.
so you're not gonna enter going face in anymore.
Right,
You're gonna go
come into
right.
this area, which that terrace now goes all the way to here, basically. And there's a fence here, right? And then there's a fence here. So this fence will be replaced with a low stone wall. 18 inches, 2 steps to 2 feet. And then there'll be a nice slot here where you'll come in under a new canopy here. And then you would go into the foyer, and this is all accessible now at grade. Right now, it's kind of a mess the way it works. And what we're proposing is that pergola here, it's a little hard to see here, but it basically is a post, 2 posts and a beam with a series of just open rafters above, open to the sky above. It just creates some shading for the windows and that terrace area. And you can see here the setback line. So this is the second variance is allowing us to put these 2 posts and that beam inside that setback.
Have you ever been in Murphy's? You ever been in Murphy's?
I remember.
I have. So that's funny is they're moving the bar
Yeah.
from here
Yep.
to here, to all the way on the other side, which is fascinating, but I digress.
Sure.
How much, now that's a pretty wide sidewalk.
Yeah,
It's
this is
there right now.
pretty wide coming down there. This is the curve.
So, right, okay, so how much are you in front, are you gonna change that sidewalk now? We're gonna lose a lot of area in that sidewalk?
No, just the opposite, really. This follows the existing line of where the fence is now.
Yeah,
So
show
the
me that, this is
sidewalk
the
would-
fence right here,
The
right?
fence line would be following the outside edge of that little stone wall here. So that stone wall, right now the fence is about 4.5 feet or 4 feet high.
Right,
It has like plywood on it.
yeah, it's a thin picket
So
fence.
we're gonna take that old picket fence away and put a low stone wall there that would be sort of, matching the stone walls you see in the downtown area.
Uh-huh.
But it's low. You can see some.
And you're
people
gonna
here.
bring the glass right up to that.
Well, this glass wall is existing. It's all
Oh,
staged.
you're gonna leave that, so
Yeah,
what's
it's all
gonna, this is
staged.
just gonna be the
It's just
wall?
open. It's like an
Just a
open.
little stone wall.
Okay, so
It's an open
you're just gonna have a
patio
covering here
terrace.
then, over this,
Exactly.
still what's there now, you're gonna put a new awning there, just out of
Not
curiosity?
even-
No, there's an existing awning up here. The
Yeah.
awning would be replaced with the pergola. Essentially. There's a new small awning here with a
Okay.
barrel vault that covers this area at the entry to keep rain out and sun from that area.
Okay,
The fence that's on this side is being removed and that area is being given back to the sidewalk.
okay,
So you'll gain, the fence is, I think it's right about here, actually. So you'll have a wider sidewalk here, and this sidewalk will be the same that it is. It gets a little tight here because that's where that existing.
yeah, there's
telephone pole
a
is,
whole telephone.
And there's kind of a really ugly asphalt berm there.
Yeah, yeah,
It
it
comes
slopes
down
down.
with the stamped asphalt, really ugly. That's gonna be all removed and then.
Is that your property there, or is that the other guy's parking lot? It's been there for years.
Some of it might creep over the property line a little bit, but that's gonna all be removed.
So this is gonna be, but here's the side, so this is gonna come out here a little bit, right? When I walk down the street here, how much is this going to be in the play here, this corner, this corner to walking up and down? Is there any gonna be here to protect? I don't want, you know, the further you go out here,
Mhm.
I just don't want to see, I mean, obviously, you're just gonna be able to walk into that?
It will be in that path if you were to be walking right along the edge of the building, but it's no further out than the existing fence is now.
Where's it? I thought this is the existing fence. Is this not the
No,
existing?
no.
fence? No.
Maybe it's not so easy to see. So.
Where's where, is this the existing
It's
fence
the-
right
Yeah,
here?
this outside line is the existing.
Right,
fence.
yeah. Can I follow?
Okay, then you're good.
The
Nice.
existing fence goes along like this,
Right,
and it goes along like this,
okay.
right? And then there's another little fence. This is actually like about like this.
Yeah,
back here
it's
now.
fine.
And then there's another fence that's kind of like this, right? And this goes over to there. And then the door is, you kind of go straight into that door like that, right?
Right.
So this fence goes away, and we gain this part of the sidewalk, and this follows that same line.
Could you
Okay.
say, so let me just be clear, this is the curb right here,
That's the edge of the, the sidewalk.
and, okay, so this is sidewalk here,
Mhm.
this is the property line, and
That's
this is
right.
the setback,
That's
which
right.
is also sidewalk,
Correct,
is that right?
that's
Okay.
right.
And what is this?
It's,
Parking.
it's a.
Parking meter?
Yeah, you're right, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then that's the telephone pole, it's not,
No, the pole's here,
oh,
and
okay,
that's, I think, that's the valve for the water service.
okay.
Well, there's
It's
parking
in the
meters
ground.
along here. by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, there's I think 2 meters.
So my question here is, what are you doing? So you know, you know what a pergola is, where it's that open air thing, and it never made any sense to me, like, why is that a thing?
Right,
I think they're, usually people get married under them or something.
well, it
Like
creates.
a zero?
Well, kind of, except there's no roof.
There's
on
no
it,
roof, yeah.
So it's not weather protected.
Correct.
But so what is the plan for this area?
So the idea for pergola is to create some mitigating element off the sidewalk, and then also kind of an inviting element.
Yeah,
It gives you some protection and definition of
Yeah.
that, of that
Will
terrace.
the awning be able to come out from there still and cover that on its
The awning
own?
will be removed because it'll just be in the way of the pergola, but there are, on the back, we have pergola in the back as well, and they'll be having a fabric type covering that can be pulled out across it to create greater shade or potentially protect them from rain. So. there are
Where is that
options to do
happening?
That's on the back of the building.
Oh,
here.
okay.
Back there, we're doing a new
Okay.
deck back here.
Oh,
You're gonna put a deck back there?
Yeah, big
That's
deck
really
on the
cool.
back side.
Wow, that's
So-
nice.
Yeah.
That's an eyesore back there.
It's gonna be that oil get
You're gonna
cleaned
get rid
up.
of
and it's
all that
steep
cleaned up
hill,
back
and we're
there?
gonna do a row of
Yeah.
Yeah.
arborvitae to block off.
Okay.
the-
that's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
the
gonna be
building.
great.
All right.
My question, so you've got no plans to like put seating there or?
No, yeah, they'll be seating there.
Oh,
Part of
there
the
will be,
idea.
okay.
What type of seating, by the
To
way?
hold
They got
that-
picnic benches there. They used to have picnic.
No, it wouldn't be picnic benches. It would be more cafe seating.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the variance gives us enough room here to really have a chair, table, small tables for chairs, and actually have it an area that could be used by someone in a wheelchair.
about how many feet is this here to here?
That's a good question. I have. I think I'm gonna-
Here, I see it, I think it's 9.2.
6.2.
Oh, what's this number?
That's
That's
9.2.
9, yeah, the 9.2 is the outside dimension, so it would be about,
Okay.
it's about 8 feet, 8'2"
What's the
inside.
6.2?
That's the addition. The actual piece that we're building out is 6 feet.
Okay.
Oh, the physical addition that will hold. it
Exactly.
together.
So this is like from here to here, 6'2" from the face of the building to the corner of the
Yeah, that's
addition.
6.2.
And then the inside clear of this would be about 8'2"
Yeah,
Okay.
inside that area to sit here.
I walk the street a lot because I
Mhm.
live up the hill a little bit and I,
Sure.
walk the dog and go running and go into town and stuff. And I hate the sidewalk on this hill.
Hmm.
This isn't the worst part of the sidewalk on the hill. The worst part is up by the La Charla, where it gets tight up there and then.
Oh, yeah, well, and they have those piers out there. That was part of when it used to be the Contadora. or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And then down the hill is also bad.
Mhm.
Anything we can do to get sidewalk space is something that I think we should do. And I wonder, just in terms of the benefit to the sidewalk space, is there a scenario that you guys have considered where you might take everything out of this area and just set it back on the other side of the property line? Or
We
the
did
the
look at
setback
that,
line,
you
I should say.
know, thank you. We did look at an option where this was pulled back just
Yeah.
inside the property line, essentially, as you just said, right, like this.
Yeah.
And this drops very steeply on this edge, so, this is all be nice stone wall along here, nice little stone wall. And it's-
Yeah.
Over here, it's about 3 feet high because of the hill, and then over here, it's a little bit shallower, and it steps up to only about 12 inches deep there. Mostly a wall you could sit on here,
Yeah,
If you pull it in there, you can see, I hope graphically here, that if we were to pull that in, it makes this I mean, we're losing another foot there. We're getting into the, 6 foot, 6.5 foot range. It just becomes unusable to really be able to put a table and some chairs here. It just gets too tight.
No,
You run out of
it
room.
gets narrow here with this, with the pole.
This is narrow. So what, our take on this, I mean, we think it's all a great improvement. We think it's a brilliant idea. But the idea is that this wall is lower. It's going to open that whole area up. This is all going to seem so much more open now
Yeah.
because we are getting rid of that fence. And it's
Right.
all just really just a tiny little wall with some people that are really just about sitting on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Of course, this is always here, this
Right.
is that big
that's,
old
those
telephone
things have
pole.
to.
But this will read and feel much more open.
Uh-huh.
In all practical,
Yeah.
reality, you won't have any extra inches here that it'll feel bigger.
Right.
But we're not restricting it from what it is now.
Right.
And this does open up quite a bit here. This is when you get to the parking lot on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
adjacent
yeah.
property. So it's big there. And we are giving a lot back here on this side. Opening,
Yeah,
this is
which
this
I
will be
wanna
much
say I
more
really-
open.
Just out of
Really like
curiosity,
that.
from this pole,
Mhm.
from this corner,
Yep.
straight across to where Tokyo Sushi is,
Uh-huh.
and their wall, did you ever look across there? Is that going out any further? Is it?
That's a good question. It's
Let's see
shown on the,
Because then you,
yeah, this is, let's see here. This is the corner of their building. And then this is the corner.
they have an
This is the
outdoor porch
existing.
though, and they have a concrete
similar thing,
wall
but
there
their
too,
wall's much
yeah. It's just
taller,
taller.
and it's heavier.
And it's also elevated because you're going up the block.
Correct. Yeah, that's a great question. I don't,
Just curious to where that is compared to where that is as you walk. Just a thought.
Curious.
yeah, I think,
Yeah, it's not-
I think it's really pretty close to that line, honestly.
Okay.
So which would mean it's, it's pretty.
Yeah,
close.
Noah's right. I just, listen, it's a wide sidewalk. It does get narrow there.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of foot traffic that goes through there,
Mhm.
especially during the high point of the season, outdoors. It's a lot of foot traffic that's going here. Obviously, anything that you can make looks nicer is great.
Mhm.
But boy, oh boy, we'd love to be able to extend some sidewalk there, especially that pole is a killer.
Right,
It is a
if we
killer.
could bury all the utilities, our village would be much nicer.
Oh, that's just, don't get me started on yes.
How much of that corner space do you need? You couldn't angle that at all? I know that's taking away some
In
footage.
what way? Or just cutting that
Cutting it?
corner back one?
Yeah, like that.
No,
No, it looks
I mean,
stupid.
at that point, I wouldn't do that.
I'm not here
but-
to give you that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm just trying
I
to keep
would pull a
sidewalk
line
here.
back more here, I suppose, but even then it just becomes more, because, as people come in, you're gonna have people waiting in this area to come in the door. That's gonna happen, right?
Yeah,
And
and it
we're getting them
spills
off
out
the
into the street,
sidewalk, which is
too.
nice, yeah.
it does spill out. I mean, I used to see what used to go on. And it would
Sure.
spill all the way out. And
Well-
then you got the cars parked here. It's a narrow area. There's a
Mhm.
lot of traffic.
I mean, this is proposed to be a piano bar. It's gonna be more of an upscale. It's not gonna be really a student,
Hangout.
type hangouts, the idea.
That's the
So
idea.
that's, we'll
But
see what
where's the
happens, and
money?
that doesn't really, it's not material to this necessarily, but.
You use it more than I do. What do you think of the sidewalk here?
Well,
So where are you going to be coming out? So what do you need the 1.5 feet?
Right here, this, I have another diagram, but basically, you can see here, this is our setback line.
Right?
And really, what's in the setback is this post here, and this post here, and technically the beam that's above it. The actual rafters themselves it would be considered, in our opinion, it would be considered what's the word, roof, there's an eave, an eave.
Ease-
Okay.
An eve.
Okay.
An eave is permissible.
Can you
inside
get
the
me,
setback.
can we see, can you get an artist rendition for this? I like this.
I have, yeah, I do have renderings of it. I mean, I can bring them.
Yeah, I'd like
I
to
can
see.
send you one.
We can send, we have a 3D model of this, we rendered this, so we could. serve
I mean,
it.
I love what you're doing. Like, look at this, the back.
I know.
This is a disaster back here, so I love it. Here's this cheesy thing he's got here, right?
Yeah, right.
Here's the
Exactly.
pole is right
Yeah,
there. It's
Yeah.
actually a little further over. than that.
this is the front side of that sheet with the pole up here.
Yeah, this is the side on. This is the little
Yeah. I mean,
ramp that
it's
he's
so
talking about.
much more.
No, I don't, I agree with you.
Play the pinch points on the sidewalk, but I think everything that we can do to stop. My big thing is I've been pushing a baby stroller for the last 6 months up and down this hill, and it's annoying. It's just annoying.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, this
Can you
shows
give
that-
me
that
also,
shows
all
the
right, so you can,
zone.
I'd also like to know the distance from here to the sidewalk. If you can
To
measure
the
that out.
sidewalk.
Yeah, I just
Sure,
want to know how
sure,
wide it's gonna
right,
be
right,
there, where
right.
you're coming in here. I just want to know. I know what a normal sidewalk is, and I also know what it is further down the block.
Mhm.
So I just want to get an idea. Now I'm gonna walk this later. I didn't even know this was Murphy's. I need to say that. I don't know the address off the top of my head.
I didn't either.
And here's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna open up a public hearing.
We're gonna
Okay.
schedule.
You're gonna schedule it, not open.
They got a notice.
We have to do on this, right?
And we're gonna start an action, right? Just so you don't have
So
to,
you could classify the action as an
Where?
unlisted.
it's gonna be unlisted, okay. We'll get a.
Yet another one that's unlisted. It'll
Okay.
be similar to this. One thing I had real quick, sorry.
Sure, no.
But the bulk table, I think, identified the proposed yard setback as 4 feet, but your application said
Oh,
1.5
Should be fine.
or 3 point,
It's
it said you were seeking a 1.5 variance, so it was
variance,
3.
okay.
Is that, I just wanted to make sure you were, because there was a little inconsistent, what the front yard setback is proposed to be.
Oh, we'll double check that. It's
Okay.
it's 5 feet is the requirement.
That's a requirement, but as far as
And
what
we're
you're
one
proposing.
and a half
That's
into
I
it.
don't
Yeah, so
think
you're
I
proposing
think the awning's
3.
coming over.
what I.
The
what I said.
render, oh, you're
Correct.
right,
Yes,
you're
you're
right.
right.
Okay, because the bulk table said 4, I think, just to make sure it's
Oh.
Hey,
consistent.
Tony,
Okay.
I think Alan wants to talk.
Hi, Alan.
You're on mute.
Oh, he was trying to jump up and down. I
Maybe
didn't
just
look over
raise
there.
his-
Okay.
his hand.
Go ahead, Alan. We're waiting for you.
You're muted.
But your application's 1.5 or 3 point, it said you were seeking a 1.5 variance, so it was 3. Is that, I just wanted to make sure you were, because there was a little inconsistent, what the front yard setback is proposed to be.
We'll double check that. It's
Okay.
it's 5 feet is the requirement.
That's a requirement, but as far as what
We're
you're
one
proposing.
and a half into it.
Yeah, so you're proposing 3.
The render, oh, you're right, you're right.
Okay, because the bulk table said 4, I think, just to make sure it's
Hey,
consistent.
Tony,
Just wanted
I
to-
think Alan wants to talk.
Hi, Alan.
Hi, can you hear me?
You're on mute.
But you gotta, there's a feedback here. We're getting you on a delay.
Maybe just raise his hand.
Go ahead, Alan.
So I just wanted to mention that
Muted.
for what it's worth,
But your application's 1.5 or 3 point, so you're seeking a 1.5 variance, so.
for what it's
Go ahead,
worth, I just wanted to mention that the stone wall is, as of right, allowed without a variance. It's really just the posts and the beam above the posts that require the variance. You're allowed to do a low stone wall within the 5-foot setback. The fence as is, or you could do a low fence within the setback, that those are all allowed. But it's really just in question the posts, which is so the narrowness of the sidewalk would remain as is, whether we left the existing fence or put the stone wall in. It's really maybe more shoulder room as you walk by those 2 posts. That was it.
What's the definition of a low fence here?
You're gonna have up to an 8-foot fence, I think, at our, inside of our property,
How
but
tall is that gonna be again?
A foot
2
and a half
feet
to
at the
3.
end. It's 1.5 to 2 feet. This is the elevation. It's down here. It's very low.
You know where anybody falling
Stubbing
over
a
that thing?
toe or something.
Well, where it gets taller on the backside, we might have to put a little rail guard up or something.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna recommend. Can we get an artist rendition of what this is gonna look like so we can see it for the next meeting? With that said, I'm gonna ask for, should I ask for the public hearing first? You want me to open, ask the
So you could do a,
unlisted secret?
Schedule.
sure, you could do
schedule?
a motion to classify this as an unlisted action under seeker.
Okay, can I get a motion to classify this as an unlisted action under secret?
I'll make a motion.
Sean, second?
second,
On favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Our attorney can go ahead and do that. Can I get a motion to open a public, the schedule?
Sorry.
Okay, you were right. To schedule a public hearing for our next meeting,
September 14th.
September 14th. Look at these guys. Well, I'm nothing. Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Seconded, Sean?
aye.
You all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we have
Aye.
a public hearing scheduled. Please make sure your notices are out. Okay, please come back next time with some, we just want to get a better view of what this looks like. I understand. And Alan, I get your point. You're not losing any sidewalk. Alan's almost
he's still there.
He's there.
Hey, do you guys have a set of plans for me? Can I pick them up?
You're gonna be back for next meeting?
No, I want to see it like next, I'm gonna be back in New Paltz next week, so I would like to, can we like keep a pic, give it to Alana or something like that?
There's a packet for you here, Sean. I'll just leave it in the building for now.
Sean, did
I'm
you hear?
sorry?
He'll leave you a packet in the building department.
Thank you.
All right.
And I would just ask if you could submit, EAF part one using the mapper, the DEC mapper application on the website. I don't know, it didn't look like you used that. Okay. Yeah, so if you could just submit that, that way after the next meeting, we'll be able to. Yeah, use that before the meeting, that way I could scoop it up.
Sure. And we'll send you a letter, you can just email them to Alana for starters, and then we'll bring, we want to send you hard copies of those.
No, just have them ready for the next meeting so we can see what it looks like, okay? And make sure it's absolutely consistent to what you put in front of the planning board. All right, they will know, they will check it, so just make sure that. I'd just like to get a little bit of a view of it. It's not necessarily has an effect or not, but I do want to see what the distance is on the sidewalk with the post there. I want to visualize walking up and down, which I'm going to do before the next meeting. And, just get a vibe for, how the functionality of that sidewalk is going to operate once you do this, which it shouldn't change much, but we do our due diligence.
Fair enough.
And one other thing, if you look forward to it, this does have to be referred to the Ulster County Planning Board, so Alana will take care of that.
All right.
All righty,
Good.
thank you.
Great, thanks so much.
All right, we have a few other things we have to
Got a
do,
motion to
right?
approve the minutes?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And do we have any village updates that we needed to do or anything like that?
Donna's here, if she has anything.
Hi, it's Donna.
Her camera's not working.
I know, but she's on mute.
Hi,
Donna, do you have any?
my camera's not working tonight.
It's okay.
I don't really have anything to bring to your attention at the moment.
All right, that's
Something you
fine.
don't know about.
That's okay. Thank you, Donna. That's good enough. Do we have any TA closure letters? ED2?
Yeah, you have to just, make a motion, like approve my letter to close the escrow account for Rich Stephens.
Okay. Can we have a motion to close the escrow account for Richie Steffens, please?
I'll make-
ZB21-5.
Yep, make a motion.
Seconded?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, did everybody get a chance to take a look at the minutes of July 13th?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, then, can I get a motion to approve those minutes of July 13th?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Seconded? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think that concludes our business for August 10th. Thank you, as always, Noah. Thank you, Sean. Great job. Thank you, Alana, and thank you, Ashley.
And thank you,
And-
Tony.
Thank you. And I'll see everybody next month.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Can I make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
I'm not doing that.
I second it.
Favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. All right.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay.